Happy Independence Day. Hello, hockey fans of all ages, shapes, and sizes. Check out this place. It's a private property, so I can't go down there, but all the deck chairs by the pool. It's called Paw Paw Lake. Just do a quick walk and talk here. And yeah, so what the heck do the Leafs do? It's so quiet out here. Actually, I'll do another view here. It's the 4th of July in America, and it's incredibly quiet in this town. I think everybody was maybe partying for last night. It's a Tuesday morning. It's super quiet. Yeah, what did the Leafs do this off season? As I said in my last chat or podcast or whatever, I said that I thought that they kind of upgraded to like a B, probably a B plus for me. But it appears like they're over the cap again. So how the heck does this team survive the cap issues? I was just looking at some news because I wanted to confirm John Gibson's status in Anaheim. I thought that might be a place potentially where they would send Matt Murray to eat the cap, and if he truly wants out, there's all kinds of counter intel saying that he doesn't want to leave. It's all false rumors. It's like he definitely wants to be there, yada yada. So I mean, I look at his contract and it's 6.4 or 6.2 a year, and Murray's is like 4 point something. So if the Leafs sent one of their draft picks, or like a prospect or something not nice, down to get Gibson, and then eventually got returned Murray down to a southern climate, I don't think the Sharks would probably do that anymore because they got Blackwood. But if it's true that John Gibson, there's rumors that like I'm not playing one more day in this city, but I can't imagine that would be true. I don't know if it's fans trying to stir something up because they want a new goalie, but Anaheim's acquired Killorn and Gudas. And I've noticed a trend in this offseason where a lot of teams are paying a lot more for one season deals to kind of back yourself and to try to basically reinvent themselves. And they're paying a lot more to attract people to their city to play, even on like kind of crap teams or like bottom 10, bottom dozen kind of teams. So anyways, I think that the Leafs one with Nylander for me is really interesting because I'm just going to turn around and walk back here. Basically, I think that the way Nylander played in the playoffs, and this is a guy that has proven to be a good negotiator, whether it's him or his agent or whatever. They're one of the best negotiators in the league. So you're dealing with a guy that has done this before, and I don't think it scares him to go right down to the last mile. Now that could be looked at multiple ways. It could be looked at, this guy's a greedy SOB, or it could actually be looked at as this guy knows what he's worth. And I believe 10 million does look, I've been saying this number for a while because that was Timo Meier's qualifying contract, and I agree with O-Dog and some of the guys at TSN when they say the Timo Meier deal is what is the comparable, and I do believe that. But I think William Nylander's a unique enough kind of guy that he might just say, well, I'm worth more than Timo Meier. I'm worth more than Pierre-Luc Dubois, even though he is a centerman. And I want to say that is the Dubas way to sign the people that he wanted to bring in there, high-end guys. You overpay them for the crown jewel, the Leafs. Everybody wants to put on that jersey in their career. It's right where the Hockey Hall of Fame is, of course. I guess right now we can't say the same thing about some of the other Canadian teams. I don't know. I think COVID and the pandemic and that really kind of screwed with the Canadian market a lot. And I think everything's opening up again. Everything, the pendulum's swinging back. So I think this is just a temporary thing. But yeah. Hey, they're checking out my car here. I just parked. As I said, it's private property. I parked in front on a public street. They can't do anything, but they're getting a little curious. Anyway, I'll do this for the background just in finale. So I think that this is Pawpaw Lake. I want to say that Nylander is worth $10 million. His contract is going to look like crap for the first couple of years, and then it's going to look great. The same thing as last time. This guy is going to go to bat for himself, and his agent will go to bat for him. So you can either resent it and make a stink or trade him or do whatever you're going to do, or you can bring the guy on because I think he is one of the best right wingers in the league. And you'll have to deal with that contract, right? So like I said, if the cap is going up, you have to think of the mentality of the cap isn't going up. So reality right now is, yeah, it's a little bit pricey, but maybe, in 2 years, it'll be the same. It'll be, if he signs an 8, I think you only go 10 if you're going 8-year deal, because when the cap goes up, eventually it's bound to. That deal's going to look like a steal, like it does right now. So I think Nylander's always been ahead of his time. He knows what he's worth, and he's going to get it. So I think you either trade him for assets or prospects or whatever. As Brian Hayes said, you run it one more year. I think, honestly, the Leafs are so far over the cap, I think they literally have one season to win the cup, like next year or nothing, because they've sold out all their futures. If they start losing these guys in free agency, they're done. And I think a lot of the guys trying to back themselves and go for contracts are waiting for Tavares' 11 mil to go off the books, because they know he'll sign for probably like 5 mil or, like a Ryan O'Reilly type deal to end his career, most likely, or maybe he'll do like a bridge in the middle. I think he's still young. So relatively, I think he's around the same age as Ryan O'Reilly. Maybe O'Reilly's slightly older. I don't know. Anyways, I think for Tavares, after the 11 mil is done, which is a huge boat anchor, speaking of boats and lakes, they got to get that off the books in 2 years. And I think if you're going to keep Marner, you keep him. If you're going to trade Marner, you trade him for assets right now. And I totally agree with what Johnny said, Mike Johnson, about you got to start looking at guys' contracts 2 years before they're up. So I think the Nylander Matthews ones have gone too far, and maybe they're going to sign short-term bridge deals, wait for the cap to go up, back themselves, or they're just going to play it out this year and leave. Somebody water skiing there. And I think they should deal with Marner right now, which I've always felt through this whole time that he's a likely bartering chip, but if they're going to go for it this year, they need him. And they've built a bunch of tough guys around them, a bunch of grit and sandpaper. So I think this is the year for the Leafs. But I'd watch out for Carolina. They're looking mighty good again this year, and they're beefing up their offense. And they got Orlov too, so I think Carlson's likely not going to go there, in my mind. So and it never really worked with him and Burns anyway. So being like the top dogs together. So I think that Most likely Carlson, if anywhere, will go to the Penguins, because Dubas was the guy pursuing him, I believe, in Toronto, and he'll probably try to pursue him regardless of Letang being there. I think that could be a mistake for them, and it sounds like by his press conference that he might have changed his mind anyhow. So yeah, we'll see. Bye-bye Pawpaw Lake, and we'll see what else happens over the next couple weeks in the off season for Toronto.